life is a tapestry, and we're one little thread which is connected to another thread, and there's a picture there that we can't see because we're just the little threads that connect to other threads. But if somebody could look back and see the picture, this is just the series of events that brought us to it for whatever reason.
I keep floating down the river.
Just an average kid. We had just had his bar mitzvah in April, and that was a big event in his life.
What year is this?
1998. He came home. He had a sleepover with his friend, and that was on Saturday. He came home that Sunday from the sleepover. It was probably around 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and he said he had a really bad headache. Didn't really feel that good. His throat was bothering him. So I kind of, gave him some sucking candies and lozenges and told him that, if he didn't feel better, we'd get him some medicine. That night, he was fine. The next day, he woke up, he wanted to go to school. And I said, don't go to school. You're a good student. Relax one more day at home. Stay home. And he did, and he was on the computer, but he didn't really look good, in my opinion. And I called the doctor at one point, and I said, Jason doesn't really look good. And the doctor said, well, that's because he's not eating, because his throat's bothering him. So just get him a milkshake, give him Gatorade, ice chips, just keep him hydrated. So I did. I went to bed. Everybody in the family went to bed. And then I woke up at like 3 in the morning because I just got up and I said, I should go check on Jason. He wasn't feeling well. I want to see how he's feeling. So I went into his room, and he was sitting upright. And he was like trying to breathe, and he kept saying, I can't breathe, I can't breathe. And I was trying to keep him calm. And I said, you can breathe, calm down. And he really looked scared, and he really looked like he couldn't breathe. So all of a sudden I heard a noise, and I go, I don't like that noise. I don't know if it was like a croupy sound or whatever. So I said, let's wake up Daddy. We woke up Rich, and we went downstairs into the kitchen, and we thought he was maybe very heavy congested, and that's why he couldn't breathe. So we put like a tea kettle on the stove, and we told him to breathe in all the fumes. And it wasn't really getting better, and he was really in distress. So we decided we were going to take him to the emergency room because he really seemed very uncomfortable. And I went upstairs to get dressed because I was in pajamas. And Rich went to write a note in the kitchen to Andrew, our other son, who was sleeping. And Jason was waiting in the entranceway to go with us to the emergency room, and he was with us. He had his coat on and everything. And all of a sudden, we just heard a thud. And we raced over to him, and he had totally collapsed. And Rich tried giving him mouth-to-mouth resuscitation, and he couldn't get any response. I called 911, and they I don't know if they kind of resuscitated him somewhat, but they took him by ambulance to the hospital. So they kept saying to me, well, the best way we could explain it is it's sort of like a meningitis. His whole body has shut down, but originally they said that might be a good thing. They said the body has its own protection. It shuts itself down so it can fight. Once you get a bacterial infection in your bloodstream, which is where it was, it almost gets a life of its own. It grows so rapidly and it attacks so much of your inside so quickly that you almost can't stop it. That even though they were trying to give something that would stop it, it was basically just running through his body rampantly. And he was on life support, and they gave us hope for I would say, a couple of days. And then the day after Thanksgiving that year, basically, he passed away. Jason, wave hello.
Jason, say hello. Wave. Say hello. I'm going to take a picture.
Jason, you're my favorite and my only godson, and we love you very much.
Jason, you're a terrific guy with a great heart, and you deserve everything you're going to get.
DJ, I'm really proud of you. Have fun. Good luck.
Jason, 3 letters. O-T-T.
Jason, I love you, and you're the man.
Jason, we love you and we're proud of you.
Jerry, had a great time. Keep doing what you do, and we love you.
Jason, 3 letters.
definitely became a more spiritual person after Jason passed away. There were signs that I got that I felt very strongly were signs that he was still around me. Our son Andrew graduated from college and he got a job, his first real job in the real world, and it was very exciting for us that he was starting work one day. And that whole morning we were like, just thinking about Andrew and thinking about him starting this new job and that he's in the work world now and everything. And about 11 o'clock in the morning, I get a phone call. The phone rings, and I pick it up and I say, hello. And they said, hello, is Jason there? And I've never gotten a call for Jason. I mean, I've gotten mail to Jason Rubin. Never, since he passed away, did I ever get a phone call for him. They said, hello, is Jason there? I said, excuse me, who are you looking for? They said, is Jason Rubin there? I said, what is this in reference to? And she says, well, I have a flyer here that I must have gotten a while ago, and it says that he does yard work and snow shoveling, and I was just wondering if he's, still working. And I was caught off guard, obviously. I didn't even know what to say, and I said, no, he's not here anymore. This number is not for him. And I just hung up. And I was thinking about it, like, why would I get that phone call? It had to be like 6 years maybe after he passed away. That means this lady held onto this flyer for 6 years. And then it struck me and I said, oh my God, the only time Jason ever worked, I mean, Jason was 13, so he never had a job, didn't do babysitting or anything. The only job he ever had was he did send flyers to our old neighborhood saying that he would do snow shoveling, and that was the only time he ever worked. Jason wanted me to get the message, I know Andrew's going to work. Like, there was no way to put Jason and work together other than this flyer. So he wanted me somehow to get a message. I know that Andrew's starting work today. That was the one call on that flyer that I ever got, and it was the day Andrew started work in the real world for the first time. I definitely believe in contacting the other side, and I do believe there are people that have the gift to do that. So I did go to a medium, and I have a tape from it.
The others are talking too, but I choose to intercept the conversation of the young one because it means something to you in some way. Because you're coming to search, because whoever it is attaching themselves to you. It's young. I mean, whoever it is young. It's the front door of wherever you live. It's not closing right, or the key is not right. And he talks that, he says, now listen, Mom. He said, you tend to not forget those things. He said, and sometimes she just doesn't pay attention, but you're complaining about your front door, or the key doesn't go in, or it's not closing right.
That was complete. The latch had broke.
He's sharing his space right now, his deck with somebody. It's a young woman. Her name is Julie.
You heard that he's sharing his space with Julie?
Somebody. I don't know what the reason.
His classmate, Julie Cabin, died right after him in an accident on a street road. She was in his grade.
What you want to do from all this is really to see if he's heard you or not. Because you talk to him a lot. And he says, oh my Lord, he says she doesn't stop. She said sometimes you see him as late as 11:30 at night.
I don't know how long afterwards. I don't know if it was 9 months afterwards or a year afterwards. I just wanted to have a child in the house. I knew Andrew was going away to college, and I felt very, I felt like I was robbed. I was robbed of raising a child. Like, here I was all prepared to be raising this child, and in one night he was taken from me in a moment. When we did adopt Rachel from China, 2 years to the day, Jason left our house left this world the day after Thanksgiving. We brought her home 2 years later, the day after Thanksgiving. They read a book recently in school, and it was about a boy that passed away. The teacher gave them a test, and maybe the test was something about how does this relate to your own life, or how could it relate to your own life, and she said that it related to her because of Jason. When Andrew was a little boy, I used to like to write children's stories, so I wrote a story for Andrew, and his story was called The Chocolate Chip Cookie Boy. So he always would ask me, Mommy, tell me the story about the fact that I'm a chocolate chip cookie boy. So one day we were driving in the car, and Jason said to me, well, what's my story, Mom? Do you have a story about me? So I had to think really like quickly on the spot because I really didn't have a story for Jason, to be honest with you. So I did quickly think up the story, and I said, once upon a time there was a little boy, Jason, who loved to take bubble baths. And he always wanted to take a bubble bath. But one day he ate a bubble in the bubble bath, and poof, he turned into a bubble. And he went floating all around the world as a bubble. And then one day I was standing there in the lobby of the teen center, and all of a sudden I see pictures of children floating around on bubbles, when I made up a story many, many years ago about Jason being a bubble and floating around the world in a bubble. This is the teen center, and it's part of our synagogue, Tifereth Israel congregation. But this is the actual center where kids can gather during the week or on a Saturday night. They've been known to have a lot of USY, United Synagogue Youth Group organizations come here, and they have had sleepovers here, and they've had events here. As far as the Jason Rubin Teen Center goes, we actually do a lot of fundraisers to keep this going, and the fundraisers have been the annual pancake breakfast, which every year in March or April we have a all-you-can-eat pancake breakfast here at the synagogue. This particular room has a couple of functions. There is a ping pong table set up at the far end of the room. There's a computer on this side of the room. Right now, the room is set up for the preschool, which is also what we share the building with. They nap in here in the afternoons. We also have a library back there, and I feel that's very fitting because Jason had a very strong love of learning. He was definitely a great student. The fact that they put an educational function in the room, I think, has a lot of meaning for who Jason was and what he stood for. Jason's spirit lives on in this community thanks to all of the wonderful people who donated so generously to this project. Within the walls of this teen center, may Jason always be remembered for his love of friendship, his goodness of heart, and his desire for people to connect with one another and enjoy good times. May laughter and good friendships always abide in the walls of this teen center, which will be the best legacy to Jason we could ask for. Laughter was his trademark, and his goal was to make people smile. May these smiles on the young faces always remind us of Jason and remember that he was a good soul. We dedicate this center in memory of him.
Hope is our only chance to celebrate all that's lost and gone.
I do believe we are given a voice from some higher power that does tell us probably what to do, and if we listen to it, we're probably going to do the right thing or be on the right path. But part of being, who we are and having free will is to sometimes, think that you're going to do what you want to experience, and you're going to experience it. It wasn't meant to be for Jason to grow up past 13. He didn't do anything wrong. It was his time.
Sweet memories that we made. Fear, I know you well. We've met before. Now I fear no more.
Mom, Daddy, and Joe, I'd like to thank you guys for throwing me this party. It's awesome. It's so great. It's really cool. I know you guys put a lot of work into this, and it's come out great. And I really appreciate everything you did for this. Thanks.